You can have, do, or be any. We can have whatever this that we choose. Don't care how big it is. What kind of a house do you want to live in? Do you want to be a millionaire? What kind of business do you want to have? Do you want more success? What do you really want? See many miracles take place in people's lives. Financial miracles, miracles of physical healing, mental healing, healing in relationships. All of this happened because of knowing how to apply the secret. This is the great secret of life. You've probably been sitting there wondering, what is the secret? I'll tell you how I have come to understand it. We all work with one infinite power. We all guide ourselves by exactly the same laws. The natural laws of the universe are so precise that we don't even have any difficulty in building in spaceships. We send people to the moon and we can time the landing with the precision of a fraction of a second. I don't care if you're in India, if you're in Australia, New Zealand, Stockholm, or London, or Toronto, or Montreal, or New York, we're all working with one power, one law. It's attraction. The secret is the law of attraction. Everything that's coming into your life, you are attracting into your life. And it's attracted to you by virtue of the images you're holding in your mind. It's what you're thinking. You see, whatever is going on in your mind, you are attracting to you. Now, wise people have always known that you can go right back to the ancient Babylonians. They've always known this. It's a small, select group of people. Why do you think that 1% of the population earns around 96% of all the money that's being earned? Do you think that's an accident? It's no accident. It's designed that way. They understand something. They understand the secret, and you are being introduced to the secret. The simplest way for me to look at the law of attraction is, if I think of myself as a magnet, and I know that a magnet will attract to it. Very basically, put the law of attraction says that like attracts like, but we're really talking at a level of thought. Our job as humans is to hold on to the thoughts of what we want, make it absolute clear in our minds what we want. And from that, we start to invoke one of the greatest law in the universe, and that's the law of attraction. You become what you think about most, but you will also attract what you think about most. If you see it in here, you're gonna hold it here. And that principle can be summed up in three simple words: become things. What most people don't understand is a thought has a frequency. Every thought has a frequency. We can measure a thought. And so, if you're thinking that thought over and over and over again, or if you're imagining in your mind, okay, having that brand new car, having that money that you need building, that company, finding your soulmate, if you imagine what that looks like, you're emitting that frequency on a consistent basis. Thoughts are sending out that magnetic signal that is drawing the parallel back to you. See yourself living in abundance, and you will attract it. It always works. It works every time with every person. Here's the problem: most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they're wondering why it shows up over and over and over again. The law of attraction doesn't care whether you perceive something to be good or bad, or whether you don't want it or whether you do want it. It's responding to your thoughts. So if you're sitting there looking at a mountain of that, feeling terrible about it, that's the signal you're putting out into the universe. Well, I feel really bad because of all this. That I've got, you're just affirming it to yourself. You feel it on every level of your being. That's what you're gonna get more of. So when you're looking at that thing you want and you're saying yes to it, you're activating of thoughts, and the law of attraction is responding to that thought and bringing you things that match that. But when you're looking at something that you do not want and you shout no at it, you are actually not pushing it away. Instead, you're activating the very thought of what you do not want. And now, law of attraction is lining those things up for you also. This is a universe that is based upon attraction. Everything is about attraction. The law of attraction is always working, whether you believe it or understand it, are always working. You might be thinking about the past or the present or the future, but whether you're remembering or observing or imagining is thought. And love attraction, which is the most powerful law in the universe, is responding to your thought. Creation is always happening. Every time an individual has a thought or a prolonged, chronic way of thinking, during the creation process, something is going to manifest out of those thoughts. Love attraction says, will give you whatever it is you say and focus on. And so, if you're complaining about how bad it is, what you're creating is more of how bad it is. I had a student named Robert. Robert was a gay man, and he was taking an online course I have, part of which entails email access to me. And he outlined all of the grim realities of his life in his job. All the people ganged upon him, and it was constantly stressful because of how nasty they were with him. When he walked down the street, he said every block he was accosted by homophobic people who wanted to abuse him in some way. He was wanting to become a stand up comedian. And when he went out and did a stand up comedy job, everybody heckled him about being gay. And his whole life was one of a lot of unhappiness and misery. And it all focused around this idea of being attacked because he was gay. I began to teach him that he was focusing on what he did not want. I directed him back to his email that he sent me and said, read again. Look at all the things you do not want that you're telling me about. And I can tell you're very passionate about this. When you focus on something with a lot of passion, it makes it happen even faster. And then he really started taking this thing about focusing on what you wanted hard. And he began really trying. What happened within the next 6 to 8 weeks was absolutely a miracle. He said that all the people in his office that had been harassing him either transferred to another department, quit working at the company, or started totally leaving him alone, and he began to love his job. He noticed that when he was walking down the street that nobody came up to him and harassed him anymore. They just weren't there. When he went and did this stand-up comedy routines, he started getting standing ovations and nobody was heckling him. His whole life changed